So I started The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and I'm going to do my weekly check-ins every week here because I saw Dochi do it, and clearly it worked for her. um, and I think I need to do a check-in and put something out online to kind of hold myself accountable for finishing it, because there's a lot of things inside of me that are trying to convince me to stop. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous to even be on camera. I think that's part of the reason also why I need to do this. But the first week was good. I did the morning pages consistently. The morning pages are just writing stream of consciousness first thing in the morning, 3 pages every morning. And I did that. I don't see much of a difference yet, but it is kind of meditative to wake up and have something you have to do right away. I find that after I get to the end of page 2 and I start to get bored, I remember there's something else that I could say or talk about. They're really boring, but it's just kind of supposed to be that way, to get your nonsense out and then you start your day. There was a lot that I resonated with in week 1, and some stuff that I didn't. Let me find something. I underlined some things in the introduction that I really enjoyed. Nothing dies harder than a bad idea. That sounds like a lyric to me. And before I started this whole thing, I was considering maybe it's not for me, because I can write a song whenever I'm in the mood. So if I can write a song whenever I'm in the mood, I just have to wait till the time's right. My creativity's fine. But then she said I didn't have to be in the mood. I didn't have to take my emotional temperature to see if inspiration was pending. I simply wrote. So bitch, now I have to do it. That was me kind of trying to bargain with myself, I think, to not start. But I'm doing it. And I think for me, creativity goes further than writing songs. That's a part of it. I am a songwriter first, but I also want to gain confidence mostly in order to put myself out there more online and in real life. I mean, I need to talk to people more, make real friendships, and collaborate with people and find a community of like-minded artists, and protect some self-worth. It's hard to even look at the camera, and to say the affirmations and believe them has been hard. I think I didn't realize how negative I've become until I started this. So, some affirmations I chose to say in the morning, and I've always known what affirmations are. This is a tool I kind of grew up with, thankfully, because I had a pretty spiritual upbringing. But it's like when you look in the mirror and tell yourself things that you are willing to be true. So some things I said was, my creativity always leads me to truth and love. I am allowed to nurture my artist. There is a divine plan of goodness for me. There is a divine plan of goodness for my work, and I am willing to be of service through my creativity. I really liked those. And then we also had to record our blurts. I'm saying we as if it's an I and a me, but whatever. Some of my blurts, let's see. Oh my gosh, I also lost my power, so it was kind of a hectic few days. Okay. Some of my blurts were being weird doesn't make you talented. Oh, and let me preface this. Blurts was something I wasn't familiar with. What Julia Cameron came up with. So you say these affirmations, but then you also record that little voice in your head that is like, you suck, as you're saying them. I was always taught to like observe that voice and ignore, like notice it and let it go. But she wants us to record them so that then we can target the affirmations for those insecurities, which is a really cool tool that I want to use beyond the first week. I don't know if we're supposed to do that, but I'm going to. So some of my blurts, my little insecurity blurts, as I was saying these affirmations in the mirror, were being weird doesn't make you talented. I will never beat the streams that I've gotten on songs already. And I am unoriginal and not special. So the biggest one felt like I'm unoriginal and not special. That feels like the hardest mountain to get over. And the only affirmation I can think of for that is there's only one me. And my work is worthwhile. That doesn't feel true. So I'm going to have to keep saying it, probably. I will never beat the streams I got on Cowboy Killer, the affirmation, or songs thus far. Cowboy Killer is a song of mine that has gotten the most streams. I think a good affirmation to substitute that blurt would be, I have an abundance of creativity and songs inside of me that will resonate with people. And the first one, being weird doesn't make you talented. I think a good affirmation for that is accepting my differences as a strength. I think this is something I've learned, honestly, this kind of insecurity, like when I go to a show I'm performing at and I find it hard to speak to people, or I really overthink whatever I post online. This is a talent that I've nurtured, to judge myself before I have the chance to even try. And I think it started from a good place. I remember being a really awkward and socially inept child. Like, really young. I mean, like 10. I was so outgoing. I would get up in the middle of class and I'd say, I'm going to sing now. I would go to the front of the classroom and I would sing. No social cues. I thought that was normal, or I just wanted it to be the Kennedy show. And then, of course, you get made fun of. Of course. And of course then that changes you. You know, you get made fun of enough, and then you start to realize, oh, I don't want to be like that. I want to be cool. And so then I like got on Tumblr and figured out what's fashionable right now, which was, at the time, it was like Galaxy leggings. But you know what I mean. So the judgment of myself was almost like a trained social survival skill of being cool. What's cool? So that then when I do something weird, it will be a little more acceptable because I need to sing. I need to be in front of people. Maybe. I'm just riffing. I have no idea. But so the affirmations were very helpful. And then I also had to do this exercise, one of the tasks, because there's weekly tasks. One exercise was... Let me center myself, because I'm getting really nervous for some reason, because I know people are going to watch this. One of the tasks was picking 3 creative monsters and 3 creative champions. So it's kind of self-explanatory. Monsters are people who have pushed you down. Champions are people who have pushed you up. And I'm not sure if it's negative thinking or if it's the truth. But I found it really easy to think of creative monsters first, and found it kind of difficult to think of genuine creative champions. As I sat with it longer, I could find more creative champions. But my first reaction was, this is not the way I expected it to go. When I saw Doechie's, not to compare because it's very different, but when I saw Doechie's, they seemed to be like she knew exactly who rooted for her and who didn't. Mine feel a little nuanced because I'm not very trusting, and I'm not very sure. A lot of people who have championed me and made me feel good, or have supplied me with amazing opportunities, or people that have really been there for me when I needed it, have also said and done things to hurt me, or have given me a vibe like I don't trust them behind closed doors. So, I don't know, it's been interesting accepting that it's different for me. That it's a little nuanced, and that makes me feel a little sad, because I wish it wasn't that way. But there are people that I'm 100% about, and some of them are Sean, my partner, my boyfriend, my sister, Riley. Although, I mean, like, your sister can, like, say the most evil shit to you, and they're still your champion, you know? My friend Daphne, I really believe, always has had the best intentions for me at heart, and, like, supports me and deems me, like, a worthy artist. And that means a lot, because I respect her work, like, a lot. My best friend Jesse, Nick, who comes to a lot of my shows and has listened to my music since I was, like, 14. And the list goes on. I mean, my friend Julia, definitely. Like, there's a lot of people who have championed me along the way that I don't want to forget. My therapist in college, who, this is actually pretty special. When I was always obsessed about what guy I was seeing or what people thought of me, she always circled back around to me as a musician. And, well, what does this mean for your music? And that was something I don't know if I'll ever experience again, and it made me feel really important. So, I do have a lot of champions. It's just been a little, like, life is more complicated than a 15-minute YouTube video that you see a superstar do before they blow up. I mean, that's a magical story, but everybody's different. And my life is going to look different than somebody else who's doing the artist's way. My creative monsters, I'll give, like, 2. Miss Chambers was my 8th grade English teacher, and I wrote that I'll never forget how crushed I was when I didn't get into rock band in middle school. She was kind of rough she didn't have to be that rough. She said I had a lot of heart, but like no, I wasn't talented enough or something, you know? But it crushed me, and I cried, and my mom got me a Vogue magazine. My mom's definitely a champion of mine, but, like, my mom got me a Vogue magazine, and I just was there with me when I cried it out for, like, a while, like, a day or two. But hey, that triggered me to play piano more. And then John, a man from this label that I was signed to, label, I don't know. But, it's complicated because I almost put him down as a champion. You see, like, he really lifted me up. What I wrote was he lifted me up when I did what he wanted, but subliminally made me feel dependent on his ideas. And when I left the label, I was scared I wasn't going to write a good song without him. Like, really, genuinely, like, I don't think I can do it. Because he taught me so many good tools to write good songs. And when I met him, I was in a big creative block, and kind of just obsessed with whoever I was dating and not paying attention to me. I was 19. But a lot of positive things he's done for me and talked to me about helped me a lot. And I wanted to put him down as a champion, but it didn't feel right. I never was positive it was coming from a good place, because he never fully wanted to commit to my creative ideas and my creative heart. It was always pulling teeth to get him to work with me. I would drive 3 hours to Asbury Park for like a songwriting session where we wrote half a song that I didn't know if he really even liked. And I just didn't feel special. But I wrote a letter in defense of myself that I'm not going to read. And it went good. I think this is going to be a really interesting challenge, and I hope I glow up. I guess. I do hope I glow up. I want better for myself. And for my work, I think I deserve to try and not constantly push that desire down. Okay, well, I'm gonna make a video every week, so tune in for next week.